Oh, you again. Welcome back. I'm Mr. Alex, and if you remember, we're reading Wiggly the Worm, a collection of short stories for children by Arnie Lightning. Yesterday, we read the first short story in the collection. Today, we're going to read Mac Apple's Lucky Day. Macintosh the Apple, or Mac as he liked to be called, stared dismally down through the branches of the tree where he had grown. All the other apples from Mac's tree had been picked, but poor Mac had been forgotten. Now he was the only apple left in the tree. The fall breeze was frigid, and Mac felt jealous of his friends who had been gathered into the baskets by the family who owned the backyard with the apple tree. Mac knew that they would soon be made into apple pies or apple sauce or packed into school lunches for the kids. But that was the point of being an apple, to be eaten. Now I'll never get the chance, Mac told himself sadly. All my friends are gone and I'm destined to be alone for the rest of my days. An apple juice tear had just squeezed its way out of the corner of Mac's eye, when the stiff wind suddenly picked up, knocking Mac from the high tree branch where he'd spent his entire life. Help, Mac screamed, tumbling head over heels into the garden at the base of the apple tree. He landed in a bed of dirt and fallen leaves. Ouch! Mac rolled over slowly and looked around. From here he could see just how tall the apple tree really was. Wow, he thought, if I had known how far off the ground was, I would have been afraid. Who are you? Asked a small voice. Mac blinked in surprise to see a small green worm headed his way. I'm Mac, he said, glad to have found someone to talk to. I just fell out of the apple tree. I'm Wiggly, the worm told him. Are you all right, Mac? Just a little bruised, Mac replied. The world looks so different from down on the ground. I can imagine, replied Wiggly. I've always wondered what life would be like high up in the treetops. Mac smiled. I'll tell you, he said. And as he began to describe what it had been like to live in the apple tree, Wiggly's friends Rattlesnake, Munchy Mosquito, and Snarky Snail came out to join them. Soon everyone was asking questions and talking at once, and Mac felt like he had just made a whole bunch of new friends. You guys are great, Mac said to the garden creatures. I was feeling so sad and lonely this morning, but you've helped cheer me up. Now I don't miss my apple friends quite as much. What happened to them? Asked Munchy. Mac explained how all the apples had been picked from the tree except him. Talking about this reminded him that he would never be eaten like the others. He started to feel sad again. When he told the garden creatures why, they were surprised. You mean, asked Wiggly, you want to be eaten? It's the highlight of an apple's life, Mac answered sadly. Well, in that case, Wiggly glanced at his friends and smiled. Worms love apples. And so it was that Mac the apple's wish came true, and Wiggly and his friends enjoyed a yummy feast, just in time for Thanksgiving. That's the end of the story. Thank you so much for joining us again for Storytime with me, Mr. Alex. And now this one, like our last story, also has a just for fun activity that we can do with our parents at home. This one says, have an adult help you make this super easy toaster oven apple pie. Cut the crusts off 2 slices of white bread. Scoop apple jelly onto one slice, leaving room around the edges. If you don't have apple jelly, maybe you could supplement strawberry jelly or pear jelly or something like that. Sprinkle with sugar and cinnamon. Put the other slice on top. Press the edges of the bread slices together and toast in the toaster oven until crispy. Enjoy.